Kicking us off. Here it is. For kicking us off, Heather. And really, this probably half hour to 40 minutes or so of time that we'll be spending together is really an opportunity to learn about the upcoming spring 2026 Diabetes Sangha retreat, as well as it's kind of really the theme and the practices that we'll be focusing on during that weekend of mindfulness. What the weekend will include, some details, some more details about the accommodation and meals at beautiful Wynwood Retreat Center, and then also how you can register. And we'll have plenty of time for questions and also to share a little bit more about how Heather and I came to these practices and why we're so excited to create space for this community to come together and share them. So, with that, Heather, do you want to kick us off a little?
Yes, so much so. Love this beautiful image and this beautiful quote from one of my most beloved teachers, Jack Cornfield. So maybe we can read this together and transition into a brief opening practice. The heart is like a garden. It can grow compassion or fear, resentment or love. What seeds will you plant there? What seeds will we plant in our hearts? So allowing your mind to rest in your body in this present moment. If you feel like allowing your eyes to close, this will just be about a 3-minute practice or so. Finding some comfort and ease in your body in this moment. Perhaps noticing where you're grounded, supported, safe, and stable in this moment. Perhaps knowing how your breath, noticing how your breath is breathing you, and allowing your mind to rest there. The inhalation, exhalation, whatever pace is natural. And the retreat theme, which we'll be talking about more, is the divine heart practices, which this beautiful quote invites us to consider our own hearts. What do we plant in our garden? So touching in with your own heart in this moment, perhaps sensing into your physical heart, maybe even offering yourselves a gesture of hands on heart, and touching in with the emotional heart. Just allowing whatever's there to be there. Soften and stay with whatever is here right now. And invite in the question, what seeds do I wish to plant? Allowing that question to just be, to be a seed itself, perhaps. Living the questions, witnessing the growth. considering the seeds of love that we plant and sow and nurture and cultivate here in the Sangha. Imagining what that might be like to be together in person for a weekend, planting, sowing, and nurturing the seeds of loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. Perhaps allow a smile to come to your eyes, your face, your whole body. And in your own way and time, transitioning back into our sweet group here this evening, maybe stretching a little bit, gentle movement.
So much, Heather.
Mhm. Thank you. Thanks everyone for practicing.
What a beautiful way to kick off this kind of just you could say reveal to the retreat that is coming up in April. And this is an opportunity really for you to get to learn a little bit more about the vision for this retreat. And Heather gave us a beautiful taste of that vision for the retreat, and also some of the details as well. So you can determine if this retreat is going to be most supportive to you as well in your practice. So I wanted to share just a little bit, and Heather, feel free to jump in at any point here about why we decided to create this particular retreat and who it's for. So I'll answer the second question first because that's very easy. This is a retreat designed specifically for those of us who are living with T1D and affected by T1D. And for those that have any level of experience or any amount of experience with a meditation and mindfulness practice. And as Heather alluded to in the practice we just did a few moments ago, this retreat is really special because it will be focused on the four Brahma Viharas, or the four divine abodes or heart practices, which are drawn from Buddhist teachings and are still incredibly relevant to our modern lives. And I find, especially for myself, my life with diabetes. And so, Heather, would you be open to sharing a little bit about your connection to these four divine abodes and what got you excited to spend a weekend diving deep into them?
Absolutely, Brooke. Thank you. Um, yeah, I have encountered these teachings. Of course, anybody who has any familiarity with Buddhism knows that they love the lists. There's a list for this, there's a list for that, there's a list for everything. And what I've come to understand about these lists is not that it's so much something to memorize, but that they are a collection of teachings around a theme that are guides for us to live wisely and well. And who doesn't want to live wisely and well? I think we're all here because we want that. And it wasn't until probably, a couple of decades into my own personal practice that I was really ready to turn wholeheartedly and whole-mindedly towards this particular list of these four divine abodes. That's how I could remember them. I could not remember that word Brahma Vihara. But that really translates into, the divine dwellings. And they really are so helpful. And I think in looking for these tools and these practices of awareness, like Brooke alluded to, the living with diabetes, as we all know, can create so much suffering, and the qualities of that these four practices involve, which we'll be talking a little bit more about. Many of you who practice with me on Fridays know these because we talk about them all the time. Equanimity, the practice of walking evenly on uneven ground, has been the for me the one that has been the most necessary to practice. Many of us find our way through some of these quite quite easily or naturally. Some people are equanimous in their nature. I'm not. And learning that there are guidelines and practices and mantras and visualizations and tools to help me become more balanced and more present and peaceful with all of the challenges, not just with diabetes, but with life, has really been, it's been very powerful gift. And I've really been so excited to concentrate on these practices. And when we were meeting, when Brooke and I and Sam and Peter were meeting this summer at our leadership retreat, it was so lovely to be planning Peter and Sam's fall retreat. And then it came up, well, hey, Brooke and Heather, do you guys want to do one too? And we were very excited to take that challenge on following the leadership of Peter and Sam. And I just asked Brooke, I said, hey, what would you think about this? And her immediate answer, she lit up and, was like, yes, the cheering. And so I think we didn't even talk about doing it about anything else. So, I think, and I'll let you tell your own story, Brooke, but, for me personally, if I could just do no other practices but these for the rest of my life, I think it would be a life well spent. And so, really excited to dedicate our weekends to sharing these. Many of you know these practices as well, but to sharing them and deepening them and bringing them to the life of our Sangha for those of you who this speaks to. So, how about you, Brooke? What did you want to share anything about your?
You shared that beautifully, Heather. And I'm similarly deeply connected to these practices and, particularly, and I notice in my own mindfulness practice that um, these four qualities of the heart have been the most accessible to me in my day-to-day life with diabetes because there are so many challenges, because it can feel like such an isolating condition. And these um, practices related to the four divine abodes or four heart qualities were intentionally created to connect us to other people and other living beings. And so we thought, what a great, I mean, way as a sangha to come together and to be able kind of to practice as a type 1 community in these practices to not only be able to cultivate our compassion, loving kindness, sympathetic joy, and equanimity with others, and but also to really cultivate that in our own hearts towards ourselves as well, and the ups and downs of life with diabetes. And so we shared a little bit about the theme. So we will be exploring these four divine abodes or heart qualities, which include compassion, loving kindness, joy or empathetic joy, and equanimity, and a series of practices that you can take home with you if you haven't already been exploring them in your own mindfulness practice that have been kind of passed down for thousands of years across various traditions. And so this is an opportunity as well to cultivate your own sort of toolkit is not quite the word, but almost like backpack of resources that you can then carry into any moment that you encounter in your life with T1D or as a whole, to be able to find that steadiness on unsteady ground, as Heather shared. And the retreat will be taking place at the Greenwood Retreat Center in Lacey, Washington, which we'll share a little bit about in a moment. But it's a beautiful place, as Heather mentioned, just an hour away from Seattle Airport. And the retreat will begin at 4 p.m. On Friday, April 24th. And then we'll end on Sunday, April 26th in the early afternoon at 2 p.m. And as part of this retreat, we really wanted to make it an experience that was an opportunity because connection to other beings is such an important aspect of these four heart qualities and practices. We wanted to be intentional about creating opportunities for that real connection between all of you and any other Sangha members that join the retreat, while also providing ample opportunity for each individual to go deeper in their mindfulness practice. So the Saturday of this retreat will be in silence, noble silence, and but Friday and Sunday will provide opportunities to connect in ways that are guided and supported, as well as some time for informal connection as well. Anything you would add there, Heather, you would want to highlight?
I think that you did a great job. Yeah, reviewing this. We'll take questions in just a few minutes. If people have any questions about what that noble silence means or what it looks like.
And for anybody who's interested as well in arriving a little bit earlier to the Seattle area, there's also an optional pre-retreat that our dear Peter and Sam and Heather possibly will also be supporting. And this is really an opportunity to gather a little bit more informally and connect over hikes, time together in nature, and some opportunities for some guided meditation practice as well outside of the formal retreat space. So you can think about this as a way to kind of like dip your toes in the water before you kind of jump in before the retreat. Awesome. And the retreat will include a a variety of practices and practice formats, including guided and silent meditations that will be anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes in length, movement-based mindfulness practices such as walking meditation, yoga, meals as well, mindful meals, talks led by Heather and I, and then some guided discussions and opportunities to connect with other participants in the retreat space. And as I mentioned, we'll have one day of noble silence, and this is really a great opportunity just to connect with yourself in nature as well, to rest, recharge, and really reconnect with yourself in the spaciousness of the retreat. Awesome. And this is just a little sneak peek. You can find a lot more information about the Glenwood Retreat Center on their website if you're curious to dig in more. But it's a beautiful lakeside location surrounded by forest and has very simple but cozy accommodations as well, with a variety of options, including some single rooms and shared rooms as well. The retreat center will also be preparing vegetarian meals throughout the retreat, and vegan and gluten-free meals will also be available if requested. And then you can find all of this information about the retreat pricing on the website, but I just wanted to make sure we had it up on the screen so you can get a peek at the different room options that are available. We really wanted to price the retreat to be as accessible as possible. So the prices are at cost for the space. And we also, for anyone for whom the pricing just isn't feasible for you now, we also offer reduced rates and scholarships as well. So please reach out to us. We do want to make sure that everybody who has a desire to attend this retreat and participate has the opportunity to. Awesome. And with that, here's the QR code for the retreat where you can find all of these details and more. But we'll open it up for just some Q&A. And I was not looking at the chat, so if you put a question in the chat, I will take a peek at that now. But also, Heather, is there anything that I may have missed, or Peter, that you think would be important to highlight about this retreat?
I can't think of anything, but of course, people's questions are,
Yeah.
I have a lot in my mind. And I'm just really excited to see what Jody, it's nice to meet you, Jody, texted in or chatted in There's an adult T1D retreat the weekend prior, 30 minutes out from downtown Seattle. So I'm really curious who's putting that on and what that's all about. Maybe you could put a link in the chat as well, Jody, or maybe you can unmute and chat about it. And then the reason the announcement had the dates as April 23rd to 26th, because that's the optional add-on day at the beginning. For a lot of people, it's quite a short weekend. We aren't able to check in to Wynwood until I think 3:30 something on Friday. And so it's not really a full weekend. It's Friday to 4 to Sunday to 2. And so especially for people who are traveling, I'm really grateful that we're able to put in, an extra day to that time for people who want to be together and emphasize more of the connection and less of the silence. So great.
Heather,
Thank
the
you.
only thing I'll add is there's a discount code that's available to Sangha members. So it's been in some of the newsletters if you're on the newsletter or group chats, but I could drop them in. But really, it's easy. It's the letter R for retreat, 2026 for the year, and SING for singles, DOUB for doubles, and DORM for the dorm. And I know there were some folks that registered early before those codes came out, so you'll be getting the refund on that for discount codes. I think it's 40, 50, and $60 if I remember correctly. And if there are vegan options or gluten-free options, I believe those are $10 a day for the meals in addition. So I just want to make that clear. And this way, when you register, you'll have the ability to have those options come up. And lastly, that came up if someone wanted to hold the space, but they couldn't pay right now for whatever reasons. Cycles. There's a new way to register to hold the room for 30 days. Those will be for the dorm rooms as an option, and then we can settle up later. So that was added into the registration site a few days ago.
Thank you, Peter. Peter is our fairy godfather in the background, making sure this retreat that we can all actually be able to come together and have beds for each of us and meals to eat, great meals to eat, and yes, a roof over our heads. So thank you, Peter.
I think Sam and I are providing the home cooked meals
Yeah.
at the pre-retreat. I think we plan to get up there a little early and do some cooking for the that 1 day pre-retreat as well. So that'd be fun for us.
What questions do you all have?
So if we're
Question.
coming in from out of town, how does that work on the pre-retreat to get to the retreat? Like I'm just thinking transportation and stuff.
Sure. So if I can, Brooke and Heather, there's if you're flying and Bob, you're flying from the east, probably Seattle is the closest airport and the easiest. And from there'll be a few different ways. I know there's a few folks coming from the east already, and just as we did on the East Coast retreat, we'll arrange for carpool links about a month before, so people can connect for carpools. If there's several people arriving at the airport at the same day, is there a car rental which is an hour away? There's a bus from the airport. It's actually closer to the airport than downtown Seattle is. So there'll be absolutely ways to connect and either join other attendees on the ride or pick up a ride for someone coming from Seattle. So that will all be available probably within a month before the retreat. We'll begin to organize that.
Okay.
And for sure that people coming from Portland, if anybody is coming from Portland, there's already been one offer from Jennifer Kenny to take 4 or 5 people in her minivan. And then I think there'll be a pretty good Portland crew up here. So I'm sure carpooling would be an option. Portland Airport is also lovely.
Yeah, I'm happy to pick people up on my way north too, if there's a need for that. So
Thanks, Kathy.
So I have a question about noble silence. So I've done a silent meditation, but I've never done like a whole day. And so does that mean like from the minute you get up to the minute you go to bed, like we just don't talk even when you're eating or okay. Wow. Okay.
With the exception being, obviously, we are a group of people who, well, we are human beings. So we may have some more urgent needs that arise that require support. And so we'll say noble silence with the asterisk of like, if you really need the support of another person, you're more than welcome to speak to Heather or I or one of the other Diabetes Sangha leadership team members who will be on site kind of supporting the retreat from the background as well. But noble silence is a beautiful way to really be able to turn your attention inwards and really deepen in presence. And so, like, especially, I think meals are, I know anytime I've done a silent retreat, I'm always amazed by how much I get from the experience of eating a meal in silence and not even making eye contact with others or um, being so having my attention so available to what's going on around me because I experience the food in ways that I never would normally in kind of my busy, rushed, distracted daily life. So the noble silence is really an opportunity to sink in to the retreat experience and to the practices that you'll be guided through. And really just to have that space to really not focus on anything but just this moment and the next with the support of the 4 heart qualities that we'll be focused on in the retreat. Heather, what would you add to that?
I can empathize with your kind of curiosity and maybe I don't want to put this on you, but maybe a little self-doubt about like, well, how am I going to do that? I remember when I got to my first just weekend silent retreat, and they told us when we got there that there were no books or journals or anything allowed in addition to the silence. That's what got me going, like, what? I can't do my, and we actually didn't talk about that, Brooke, if we want to, how we want to manage that. But it's an amazing opportunity to notice how much we fill our time with interacting with others and seeking that or avoiding that or thinking about what are we going to say or all the things around our external engagement. And I think it's an incredible gift to have a whole day. And of course, as just echoing what Brooke said, if there's any need that someone has for communicating or asking for help, that is a very big asterisk. But it's amazing how a day can go by. Um, and then people sometimes find that they like it better than they thought they were going to like it, and then they don't really want to talk again. So the coming out part on Sunday can actually, interestingly, be even more difficult than facing the silence for some people. So it's a great opportunity to practice our 2 wings, right? Curiosity and compassion. And it's okay if it's difficult, and it might not be. So does that answer your question, Kathy?
Yes, yes, it does. It's just, I'm so used to, especially like at a meal, to just like talk
Yeah.
and that, I'm worried something's just going to come out like good morning or whatever.
You're not going to be punished. That's not one of the Brahmi Viharas.
So will all the meditations be silent then as well, other than your lead-in? No. Okay.
No. So we'll be on Brooke and I won't be silent.
Yes.
That doesn't seem
Sorry.
fair, does it? But yeah, we'll be alternating Dharma talks, guided practice, and then silent. And we don't have the agenda quite nailed down perfectly yet, but it'll be really clear. And again, I know my first silent retreat, that was really helpful to have the plan, to know the plan, right? To know okay, so when am I going to need to do my pump change? When can I plan that in there? All the things that we need to plan. How's my blood sugar? Oh, I'm going to do mindful movement in an hour. Okay, let me make sure I'm getting my snacks or whatever you need. So that will be amazing to be in a space where everyone is having to think about the same things and deal with it in our own ways. So thanks for that question, Kathy.
Other questions?
I'm happy to speak about the other retreat if you guys want me to.
Sure.
I don't want to take away your thunder on your retreat. So
Wait, I have a quick question about this retreat. How many people are you expecting? Like, what's the cap? How many spots?
Great question. Peter, can you take that one?
62. Just kidding. Sorry. At the retreat we did in New York, we had 27 at the retreat, and then myself and Sam. So I think we'll be similar size. It could be anywhere from 18 to 26, something in that range. And it's part of that's based on housing, part of it's based also we want to keep this an intimate retreat, where people can really have a close experience together and manageable for us as well. So I think that's probably the comfortable number that right now we feel will work well.
Thank you.
Sure.
Jody, would you be open if you have the link to the other retreat in Seattle to dropping that in the chat for
Yes,
everybody?
it's there.
That would be
Yep,
great.
it's there. Yep, do you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a one-day retreat, Jody, or
No, it's a 3-day. Yeah.
3-day also? Okay.
Yep. It's Friday to Sunday. Yeah, and it's speakers. It's not meditation at all. It's speakers. So, and everybody stays together at a big, beautiful hotel on the water.
They've been running that for a few years, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We have,
Yeah.
I've spoken at it a couple times. They've had Carrie Sparling be the keynote one year. They have a good lineup.
Yeah.
So if you want to do a double whammy,
Yeah.
UND weekends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to throw in, based on my experience at Peter and Sam's New York retreat, that the noble silence doesn't keep you from feeling connected to the other people in the room. Peter and Sam kept it to a small group, and there was time prior to noble silence and after to visit, but I just roomed with some two people I met at the New York one in Chicago for the weekend. We all stayed in the same hotel room, and we talked a lot about reflecting on what we experienced in New York because we didn't have the opportunity to do it when we were there because it was silent. But just going through like a weekend of similar experiences and having that deep connection to yourself and to the practice was really powerful. And I had absolutely no hesitations about sharing a hotel room or the weekend with two people that I had been through silence with. But yeah, it's just hard to explain, but you still feel really connected to the other people.
Thanks, Barb. Yeah.
To that point, actually, the New York retreat was 3 days of silence. So we began in silence and we ended in silence. So what Barb says is very true, that we felt this deep connection to each other and our practice, and all days were silent. That was challenging for a lot of people going into it.
I just have something to add. I was also on that retreat, which was amazing. Peter and Sam did a great job. Amazing. But I I was tentative going into it about, because I'm a big talker. I really liked it. I really loved being quiet. And the eating, that was, you feel like talking, but then you like kind of get into the mode, and then really you could be mindful, when they always say eat mindfully and you don't. Um, but you really could eat mindfully and just even walking and doing everything. I didn't find it very difficult, which, I think it was all the support Peter and Sam gave us, and also all the members of the community. It was beautiful. It was such a beautiful weekend. So
Thanks so
Thanks
much.
for sharing, Anne.
And
Any
just
other questions?
I was just going to mention, for those of you that decide to join us for the spring retreat, we will also be really helping you to prepare in the lead up to the retreat. So we'll be offering practices that are geared as part of our weekly kind of cadence of diabetes sangha practices that are geared towards the themes we'll be exploring in the retreat in the month or two leading up to it. And also communicating out updates, like connecting you to kind of carpools that are available. Also sharing kind of detailed packing lists to help you prepare to have everything that you need to have a really easeful experience throughout the retreat. Yeah, and also making ourselves available for any questions or concerns you may have as well. So if you're like, I need more specifics, they will a lot of the specifics for helping you prepare will be shared with you in the months leading up so that will come at just the right time to make sure you have everything you need to be prepared for the retreat and feel ready to ease into the experience. And Lucia, I just saw you join. Welcome. It's good.
Lucia. It's nice to have Petya here too. I don't know if Petya's met the whole community and people know how she helps us so much.
No, not everyone, but that's why one of the biggest reasons I would like to join in April was just to meet people, face to face. It's great to see all of your faces, but in person is always better.
Petya, if you don't know, Petya is the amazing human being who supports with all things newsletter related and keeps the Diabetes Sangha website up to date and keeps all of us facilitators in the loop with one another. So she is really the backbone of the Diabetes Sangha. So I'm one of a kind of often not visible supporters for all of us and making sure we can connect with one another.
Thank you, Brooke. It's a teamwork, and we have Emily now, which is great, and just happy to be part of the community. And yeah, of course, we have Peter behind every scene.
Yeah, thanks so much.
See you all.
Yeah. Well, if there aren't any other questions, I'll hang on for a few more minutes in case anybody wants to ask questions in a smaller setting. But please do reach out. You'll find me and Heather's email addresses on the retreat website, and you can always reach out if you have more specific questions to you that we can help to address as you kind of decide if you'd like to join this retreat or a future retreat. But we are super excited to have spent this evening with all of you and are hoping to see you in April.
Brooke, my question is, are you guys going to cap it and sell it out at some point?
We will have a cap. Yeah. Peter, do you want to?
I think a lot of that is based on the housing situation, but yes, it will be capped. The goal is to keep this more intimate as a retreat experience. And I think we found that in the 2025 person is lovely. So I don't expect it to be more than that. I will say for those that were interested in single rooms, those are limited. Single and double rooms are only 10 on the property, and I believe 6 of them were already registered. So just mentioning that. But the dorm facilities are really nice and spacious, and multiple bathrooms there. So it should work out very well. The space itself, I'm sorry, the space itself is designed to hold like 70 people in the meeting area, and so it's designed for bigger groups. So I think it'll work well. I'm sorry, Jody, do you have another question?
My question is just that I sometimes don't know my travel schedule, so I tend to sign up for things at the last minute.
Yeah.
So if I do purchase the retreat and then find out at some point I'll be out of town, can I transfer it to somebody else or something like
Yeah,
that?
there's actually a very generous return policy, so cancellation policy, and I think it's something that we don't really stick to as long as it's not taking the spot of someone else. So absolutely, you feel free to register if plans change, especially that last month for a lot of folks. And so yes, it's a flexible return policy, and we're always happy to work with anyone.
Wonderful.
Yeah, of course. It's a great question.
Will there be other people on site or just our group?
It's just our group.
Oh,
good.
cool. That's really nice.
That's really good. Okay.
The pre-retreat is in a farmhouse, really like a real farm with little sheep and horses, and it's in the town of Olympia, Washington, which is like 5 miles from Lacey. And I believe we'll have a second Airbnb right down the road for some overflow. So yeah, that's designed to be more of an intimate experience and available for those that want to come in that day early.
Cool. Thanks, you guys, for all your work on this. It sounds really
good. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm really looking forward to it.
Everyone.
Yeah. Lucia, did we meet in Maui?
Jody, yeah.
Oh my God.
I sent you a little private message saying it's nice to see you here.
I did. Yeah, it's nice to see you too.
Yeah. I don't live in Maui anymore, but I'm in Berkeley. And
okay. I was gonna say you don't look like you're in Maui with that coat on.
I'm not. And I'm excited to be going to the retreat. I'm already signed up. So
cool.
Cool. Me too.
Great to have you guys there.
Great.
Lucia will be leading this
How
Sunday
many
night.
people are already signed up?
There are I think 10 or 11 people signed up. I think Ryan just signed up as well. So it's we're off to a good start. I was going to say, Lucia's closing down our Thanksgiving week with a beautiful practice this Sunday night with Kelsey, yoga nidra and remote healing together in one powerful hour. So that's a sweet way to end Diabetes Awareness Month and also Thanksgiving week for us. So hope to all see you there.
That's great.
Yeah.
You, Lucia, for that
offering.
Me too.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Smooth carb counting.
Thank you.
Brooke and Heather.
Bye. Thank you.
Everybody.
Lucia, I love your dog.
Oh, can you I didn't realize she was in the screen. Yeah, she's just like, it's dinner time, right?
Well, Lucia, I hope to see you if I can make it. That'd be great.
Yeah. Are you still on Maui, Jody?